Jasmine, what is the biggest gap you saw in the industry that led to this collaboration, and how does your partnership solve it?
So, McQuell, the collaboration between Dialing for Deals and the Agents Growth Circle came about because there's just such a lack of structure that I've witnessed in over a decade. When you look at the agents that are succeeding at high levels, and then you look at the teams and the agents or the team leaders that are struggling, what is lacked is a level of support. It's a level of leverage. It's a lack of quality service where they can feel like they can depend on people that are put in positions. I truly believe that any championship team, right? If we use a sports analogy, and you look at the best championship teams, whether it's football, basketball, they have a remarkable coach, right? Which we all need in this industry. But they also know the strengths of each player. And they have people that are put in position to be able to lead their team to victory. So the collaboration between Agents Growth Circle and Dialing for Deals is what fills that gap of what team leaders, what solo producing agents need in their business so that they could focus on their business and not in their business.
Okay. And how do you ensure that the leads being generated are high quality and not just volume based?
That's a great question. And that's why I invited our lead generating queen over here, Ellie, with Dialing for Deals. She provides the quality leads that really have set the foundation for the Agents Growth Circle. I mean, we could provide this service with like expire leads and for sale by owner leads. But when you're talking about direct to seller homeowners that are raising their hand, interested in either knowing the evaluation or looking to sell within the next 6 months, that's where Dialing for Deals comes in, and they do it at a high level. So Ellie, you want to talk to us a little bit about, how that's done?
Yeah, of course. I was here hiding. Well, that's a very open question. Pretty much the initiative is to make real estate possible for all of the real estate investors or professionals out there that are struggling in the business. We have an automated system pretty much targeting people on Google, Facebook. Those are our mainstream leads. Sorry, I got nervous. Sorry. Yeah, Google and Facebook are our mainstream of leads. Basically, it's pretty simple how it works. We pretty much have a huge net out there just catching leads. Then they come through our funnels. Every client has a personal funnel in our backend. Then our bots are verifying phone numbers, emails, addresses, and then they transfer the lead immediately to our clients and partner system. Everything is done through Zapier, and one of the plus is that because everything is personalized and exclusive to you, once the email address and the phone number is verified, our bots are sending automatic texts with your name saying, "Hey, McQuell, Jasmine, thank you for requesting an offer in your property. Our partner, Xiomara, is going to be reaching out shortly." So that holds people from going on other websites because there's a commitment, an unspoken commitment, but there's something there that our human nature is like, okay, I'm gonna wait for the call. There's a commitment. Then when our clients are calling, the conversation is smoother. Like, hey, you just requested an offer. We'd love to present you an offer now. It's a good time, blah, blah, blah. And you just continue with your game. Of course, you gotta be sharp. You gotta call the leads. There's a structure that we also provide, an ecosystem, so you guys can have automatic campaigns going out inside your system. As soon as the lead comes through, they receive a text introducing yourself, because you want to keep the speed to lead as quick as possible and also as consistent as possible, because not everybody's just hanging around the phone waiting for you to call them. People is busy at work. Sometimes you have older homeowners that they just don't know what is going on with their cell phone, and they put it away, they go to watch a movie. So you want to be as consistent as possible. We have all of that ecosystem, automation, and the main idea is just to help others in the business, in the industry, to stop struggling, to have at least an opportunity. And the fact that these leads are exclusive is that it gives you like 2 weeks, 4 weeks of advantage before someone else come across that lead by cold calling, mailers, or doing other marketing strategies. I've noticed that myself on some contracts that I had plenty of time to discuss everything with the client, with the partner, to go back to the seller, to meet with the seller, and nobody else was calling them. And you can sense when someone is not competing against against you for the lead. And that's really what we're offering here. It's not the lead, it's just the opportunity to have a chance, which right now in this market, not everybody has it, if we're honest.
Yeah, that is exactly what we're experiencing at the Agent Growth Circle, is the opportunity to speak with homeowners. That it's just such a different conversation. When I remember back in the days, like I was competing against 10, 15 other callers during expired time. You're calling expireds, and I was in a group today and I witnessed live cold calling being done, and they were calling expired leads. And the opening statement was, I know I'm the billionth agent to contact you today, but how did your property not sell? And I think that's great. But I'm gonna go on a long end here and say that's outdated. There's a new way to do business. And I truly believe that this is technology and relationship connecting together. It's like it's almost like it's like a 50-50. Like they're getting some AI, but the AI is just setting us up so that we can make a deeper connection with the homeowners.
Exactly. And then the AI is just we gotta leverage what's going on. Like, we cannot just be scared of AI. Like, let's take advantage of AI. Like, we just mapping everything in a smarter way. And I hear all of these people paying $10,000 for an ad spend and no hopes of anything, and a retainer of $5,000. So by the time you get a deal in 3 months, you're paying back the credit card.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good system. But we all know that like many agents and team leaders struggle with lead follow-up as well, and conversions. How does your system create accountability and ensure that leads actually turn into closed deals?
You go, Xiomara.
We're gonna let Xiomara handle that. She's a little camera shy, but she, we wouldn't be able to function without Xiomara's structure and organizational skills. Okay, so Xiomara, tell us about that.
Hey. All right, so we have a bunch of moving parts in the background where, we're making sure that these leads are being followed up with, they're being nurtured, and that, they're not falling through the cracks, which is like the biggest thing when it comes to team leaders being able to hold their agents accountable, right, for leads that are being passed over to them. So here at the Agents Growth Circle, we knew that was a big challenge, and we created a group as well of admins, TCs, that handle all that part. So we nurture the leads. We make sure to also have accountability with our partners, referral partners, and we stay in contact with them at all times to see how things are going and moving with the lead. Okay, and then in anywhere where we can help and provide some assistance, we do so as well. So we're not just handing over a lead and completely forgetting about it. We're actually also still communicating with the lead, with the agent, making sure that everyone is still communicating and on the same page.
Right. It's really good. That's true.
Awesome.
She's the glue.
Yeah,
She's the
that's
glue.
what we do. The one missing part that I think is also for most team leaders, and Xiomara comes from the background of managing. And for some reason, she loved working with brand new agents that needed the most accountability. I will say that one of the key components of this is what a lot of teams don't have. And whether you trust in the agent's growth circle or you hire someone inside, you need a lead coordinator. You need someone that is going to confirm, like if you have an ISA department, a lot of times the ISA role is left to call the lead, nurture the lead, send the appointment, and then also follow up with the agent. Because the agents, we're in the trenches. We have so many hats that we wear, we forget to give feedback, right? So that lead coordinator role is like the one that's kind of like overseeing everything. It's the one contacting the agent. Hey, how did that appointment go? We didn't get any feedback. And then the agent says, well, they didn't show up, or I couldn't make contact. Okay, great. We put that back into the queue. Now the ISA knows that their job, and we pay the ISAs, certain bonuses, and they have certain metrics that they need to meet, which incentivizes them to make sure that the lead is quality and that the agent is being met with the lead. So, yeah.
Now, I know that the investor in the realtor relationship is some distrust there due to like past bad experiences. How does your system help bridge the gap and create the space where both can work together successfully?
We're in the same room. Sorry about that. Okay, so I caught some of that. You were talking about investors and realtors, right?
Yep, I know there's some distrust there.
Give me a second. Go ahead, you can lower it.
That's all.
Okay. Technical difficulty. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so our ideal avatar is actually agents that understand the power behind working with investors. The reason is because if you think about it, you go to an appointment and you really don't know what you're going to get, right? It could be phenomenal condition, top of the line, ready to list. And then it could be the ceiling is falling off, but they didn't disclose that when they were on the phone with you. So you just really don't know what you're coming into. So it's so important to have a community the way we have structured it, where we have realtors, we have investors, we also have iBuyer platforms that we go to, we have auction companies that we trust. So our strategy is no lead is left behind, like no homeowner is left behind. When we walk into an appointment, or our referral partners that we also train to learn the structures and the systems that we've created, in a sense, because they were already formed, but we put them all together. And now we're expanding the mindset of the agent of don't just go in with the realtor hat, go in with, you know what, this seems like maybe, do you have the funds to fix this? You don't have the funds? Okay, let me talk to you about our Fix It Enlisted program. Let me talk to you about the investors that we trust and that we work with, right? I think investors don't trust realtors or are not as loyal to realtors because they just want quick deals. They just want to know, are they going to get a return on their investment, right? Where realtors are more focused on the commission portion and getting it listed, where I can make more if I list it, right? So they're trying to push these homeowners to list a property because they're not getting the sense of commitment from the investors, right? I always say that price is only an issue in the absence of value, right? So as an investor, are you willing to pay the price to be loyal to someone that has systems and structure set up in a way that they're not just giving you one deal here and there, but they have a team that is hunting for you? So when you're able to have these conversations with the investors and you're like, I'm not just going to give you a random homeowner, I'm letting you know that I got a full force team behind me. And when you partner with Agent Growth Circle, our team becomes your team. So these agents can tell these investors, we have a team of callers. We have a data mining specialist that is skip tracing and finding these distressed homeowners. They're data stacking. So that's how we solve the issue. I can't speak on behalf of realtors, why they don't want to work with investors, or investors, why they don't want to work with realtors. I can just tell you that our community is for investors, it's for realtors, and it's for the vendors that understand the struggles of the realtors and provide solutions for their business.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned systems. But what makes your system different from countless of Facebook groups and training programs out there claiming to help agents and investors succeed? What makes it different?
Well, I think for me, it's like Facebook has so many different communities, right? And then you've got people that post their stuff on Instagram, and you got other people that post their stuff on TikTok. And I mean, there's just so many different platforms. And what I love about the fact that we were able to build a community by partnering with, this phenomenal man that just kind of invented a real estate community. I'm sure his name will be disclosed another time. But when he presented this to me, I saw the vision, because as we were growing the Agents Growth Circle, we had so many different platforms that we were communicating on. Some team leaders use Slack, right? Others are using WhatsApp. And it's just like, there's just so many apps and so many systems and so many CRMs, where for us, the community is it just kind of brings it all in. It's like you walk in the house, and if there's a house party, you can tell your guest, hey guys, the liquor's over there, and I'm quoting this from the creator of the community, by the way. So it's like, drinks are over there, hors d'oeuvres are going to be served at this time. Everyone has the next steps. They have a place where they can go and find scripts. They have a place where they can go and listen to recordings. There's a place to watch the modules. It's like everything is stored. And when you look at the teams that are not succeeding, they do not have a duplicatable system that their agents can come in, plug in, and play. They're reinventing the wheel every time. It's a revolving door of agents. That causes so much time wasted. So that's how our system differentiates from, our structure differentiates from all the systems that are out there.
Okay. And I know that many producing agents and team leaders struggle with scaling because they lack the right support and leverage. How does your system help them grow their business without burning out?
Ellie, you want to answer that?
Jesus Christ. That was a question for
Got that part.
Without burning out, man. Kiana, them or ours? Or ours?
Okay, we're gonna have to cut that part right there for whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. You can-
Okay. Rephrase the question and I'll jump in.
Yeah, so many producing agents and team leaders struggle with. Hello? Okay, I'm gonna go again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Give us 1 second. She's leaving. All right, I'll talk to you. Okay, bye. It's all you, McQuell. Go ahead. My apologies.
Okay, I know that many producing agents and team leaders struggle with scaling because they lack the right support and leverage. How does your system help them grow their business without burning out?
Well, the fact that they don't have to, it's yours.
Go.
Yeah, the fact that they don't have to figure things out. They are working with us. We have, between Jasmine and I, more than 20 years of experience. I'm an integrator myself, which I specialize in data science systems, all of that good stuff. So pretty much we have an ecosystem plug and play where people just gotta show up to appointments. They don't have to try to figure out things. They can make suggestions, of course, if they need something tailored, specific, but pretty much it's just come and play.
Yeah, you know, McCall, most team leaders that I've come across are still in production themselves. And there's a reason behind that. It's because somewhere along the line, they lost faith in the ability of what their team can do. And I'm not speaking about every team leader. I'm speaking about specifically the team leaders that feel the need to constantly get back into production and produce so that they could be able to afford all the systems and the leads and everything that they're providing for their team, right? It's a hamster wheel that many team leaders stay on for way too long. This structure that we've set up is to get them off of that wheel and allow us to do the grunt work, allow us to be in the trenches, right? It's a combination of not just silver spooning, feeding agents leads and appointments. That's not what this is about. It's about agents that are willing to learn what it takes, that are willing to be committed because they see something that's worth being committed to, that they're being held accountable to their daily actions and their commitments of what it's going to take to produce, right? When they're part of a culture that everyone else is doing the same thing, right? I think what happens in a lot of team cultures is that the team leader's so busy in the trenches doing their work, they have not put somebody in position to be able to, you know, think about it like this. Children, right? Some children lean more to the dad, some children lean more to the mom, right? Most team leader formats only have that one parent. So when I was, you know, I'm a single mother that raised children, so I can speak this analogy very well. When you have a single parent that is raising children, they have to play both roles. They have to play the masculine role, and then they also have to play the nurturing role. What happens with those two roles is that if one person is playing those two roles, then it takes from the full nurturing, or it takes from the full discipline, the full, you know, requirements of what we really need to make this work. So it's like, that's why they get burnt out, because team leaders are in production. You know, it's like that single mom that's working 2 jobs and comes home and is complaining because their kids didn't do the dishes or their kids didn't help and their kids didn't do this. I was that single mom. So I understand this all too well. And I understand the importance of going back to my original analogy. Winning championship teams have multiple people that are in position, and the coaches know what their team's strengths are and they put them in those places. But they also need an assistant coach. They also need, I mean, McCall, you tell me, playing football, right? I'm sure you had a coach, and then you had someone that was specifically like your running coach, or you know, and Xiomara,
there's actually, in baseball, for example, you know, I have my kid who plays baseball, and they have a pitching coach specifically just for pitchers. They have an outfielder coach. They have a coach just for batting. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how it's done.
Right. McQuell, in college, can you give me the same analogy? I'm going to interview you now a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, you have position coaches. So you have, you know, your receiver coach, your running back coach. And then you have a level above that, like the offensive coordinator, which is over the offense, a defensive coordinator, which is over the defense. And they have the position coach underneath them. And then you have the head coach. So it's levels and tiers. But you're right. It is, you do have position coaches or coaches specifically for certain positions that can really dive deep into that position and help the players learn that position well.
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, this call, the 4 of us together, is the launch of something that's just going to make a real change in real estate. This is something that's like needed. You know, we came to Ellie with the need of quality leads. Not only did she deliver, some of the best leads that I've ever seen in the industry. And I've always worked in the lead converting side of the business. I have not been a cookie cutter realtor. I do hold my license, but go ahead, you could go look at my numbers. My numbers are not going to reflect the top producer realtor, but guess what? I can coach a top producing realtor to tell them exactly what they're lacking in their system, because I've been in the background so long that I know all the moving pieces. And because of that, it was so important for the fact that everybody needed to be put in a position where they can perform to their peak. So Xiomara, she does wonderful with the organization and the transactions, and she's the critical thinker. You know, she's always thinking critically about all the moving pieces that need to be managed to make sure that those deals don't slip through the cracks. You know, and Ellie, she's also a critical thinker. She's someone that is understanding all the little pieces that are required to make sure that that lead is quality. And the thing about Ellie is that she comes from the best of both worlds. She does wholesaling herself. She works directly with investors herself. So every one of us on this call is not just coming into this industry with our special product. We're coming to this industry with our pain, with our struggle, with seeing our colleagues going through pain. And we're like, all right, let's bring this together. So we're really excited for what's coming.
And that brings me to my final question is, you know, I know agents and investors, if they're skeptical about joining this community, what would you say to them to prove to them that this is a game changer they have been looking for?
I'm not going to say anything to prove anything to anyone, because I know what we're worth, and it's just going to be up to people to have an open mind. I mean, I'm a single woman at the age of 45. I still believe in love. It's still out there. And I say that because it's like you cannot let your past trauma or your bad experiences block you from the blessings that are coming your way. You know, I can just tell you that my name has been built on my relationships, my resources, and my referrals. And to be in the game as long as I've been in the game, to go from being just an ISA, you know, and everybody has their own testimonial here. I don't want to share everybody's testimonial because I think it's for each person to share their own. But I can tell you that I know each and every person on this call personally and have believed in what they bring to the table, and bringing everybody together is what's needed for this industry. And it's for other agents or investors to see that on their own. You know, the proof is in the pudding.